Do you have projects you just can't seem to finish? Do you lack motivation? Do you miss your crochet group and the inspiration they bring to the project? Well, come crochet with me and we'll make beautiful projects together. Welcome to New Crochet, where we focus on completing projects and drawing inspiration from others, seasons, and fashions.
Hello, today I am making a cap to go with my scarf, and I pulled back the same thread that I was using in the last video or videos. That the one I got at Ollie's, the loops and threads I think is Michael's. This says to use a 4mm, but I've got my 5 out, so it's going to be a little bit bigger. I'm thinking this might be for a man. I don't know how they want to do it, but this I make these for the homeless ministry. So what we're going to do is use both of these in our project, so it'll go with the scarf. But I'm just going to alternate after every 6th row. I believe it's 6. And we're going to chain 40, 46. So that's 2, 3, 4,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay, 45, 46. All right. And we're actually going to have 45 on this. So in the second chain from the hook, so 1, 2, we're going to half double crochet 40. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And this is 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. And then we're going to slip stitch in these last ones. So that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So we've got 40 half double crochets and 5 slip stitches. And from this point forward, we're going to be working in the back loop only. So you chain 1 and you're going to slip stitch in these next 5. Back loop only. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, your half double crochets are also going to be worked in the back loop only. So you're going to work 40 of these all the way down to the end. And I'm going to stop before I do the last one so I can show you how I changed the yarn. And I think because this half double crochet is so wide, that should be a good width for a color change. So I'm just gonna do two white, 2 black on each one. I'm at the end. I'm yarning over still with the white, and I'm going into that back loop. Now I'm gonna take my black and I'm leaving a little bit of a tail on it. And this is the yarn I'm pulling through on the end. And you should have a seamless color change when you do it this way. Now I'm chaining one, but I'm still gonna hold on to both of these different colored yarn in my other hand, just because I want this to still be not too tight, but tight enough where it's not gonna sag and look loose. You know what I'm saying? All right, and see that this here is not, so I'm just gonna pull it a little bit until that tightens up. You want it to be, you know, in that Goldilocks zone, not too loose and not too tight. All right, and then we're just gonna continue to half double crochet, and we're working 40 of these. Now, typically what I'll do when I get around the fifth half double crochet, I've pretty much got these yarns locked in. All right, so, and then the ends, you know, are tight. I might want to pull on this just a little bit and make sure that that's cinched up on the end, and it is. All right, and this is where I'm going, you know, gonna snip off my white in line with that black one right there. Okay, and this is just how I weave in the ends as I go. I'm just working over those. And I wanted to give you a little tip too. If you're custom making this to fit a certain person, I would go from the center of your head, like the top of your head, to the top of your brow, plus your brim width. You know, if you want to make a wide brim, you know, make sure you include your chain for that. And you know, if you do any size brim you want. And there was something else I was going to mention. Oh, we're going to do, I think it's around 50, 52, something like that. I'll have to go back and look, but 52 of these. So I've got 2 here. I'm working this one. This is 3. So 50, around 52 or 50. It might be 54. But what you're going to do is, when this starts wrapping around your head where it's not pulling, you don't want it to pull, but just a nice even fit without any tugs, then that's where I would stop. I would go ahead and weave it into the beginning, you know, because you're going to have to weave it back in on this side when you get around, and you know, then fasten it off and make sure you weave in your little tails, your ends. But this is pretty much it. This is how this is the easiest one that I have ever done, and I like it because it's not holey. It doesn't have, you know, a bunch of fancy details in it. It's just like a nice plain cap, and it's like a knit, you know, less of a crochet, more of a knit. and I like it for that reason. And this should help keep the homeless people warmer, I hope. And I'm gonna leave you to it. You should be able to. Okay, as you can see, I'm pretty much finished with my hat. And what I'm gonna do is put the pretty sides together. And then I've chained one already at the end of my row. And if you notice, I've got my black and white together. So if you're doing a multicolor, you might want to keep that in mind, so you don't have just the same meeting the same color, because it's gonna look odd. All right, and then I'm gonna go into the opposite end, back into the side, and I want to go into that back loop only, actually, and keep that going. But on this side, this was my beginning chain, so I kind of want to cover that up, and I'm just gonna slip stitch all the way down. So just working in that back loop only, and boy, this black is really hard to see. Okay, there it is. Slip stitch. And if you'll notice, if you turn it around, you still have that kind of give, you know, whenever you have it on the pretty side. So, and then it's gonna look uniform because you've got, you know, these stitches here and the ones with the white and black. So it should look uniform when you get finished. And of course, even though this is on the ugly side, I'm gonna go back and trim these little pieces, because, you know, when you have it on the pretty side and you flip it up, you know, your rim, I don't want any of those little bits and pieces to show. Okay, I'm at the end now, and this is what it looks like on the side. It's got that white line on one side and the black line on the other. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take a long, I'm not gonna cut this off. I'm not fastening off yet. I'm gonna cut a rather long piece of yarn because I want to have plenty to work with. And I'm gonna take my tapestry needle well, before I put my needle on, I do want to I guess I am fastening off. I'm just making a long tail. Sorry about that. Okay, so I have my long tail, my tapestry needle. I'm threading that. And what you want to do is go into the top of this cap and just go through these back loops like this at the top. I don't know if you can see that. And pull your yarn through. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer. Just at that very top, we're going to take our yarn behind that stitch. And just weave it all the way around. Oops. Should have already wove that in, but oh well. If you're like me, you like to do it all at one time and get it over with. And then if you tug on a little bit, you can see it's like drawing together. Basically, that's what we're gonna do, is draw this yarn together. And I don't know if you can tell, this white yarn is a lot thicker than the black one. And it's, I mean, they're both acrylic. It's okay, but I think I ended up with 52 rows, you know, going up and down. That's 2, so it's like 2, 4, 6, 8. But you can really tell that the black rows are thinner than the white ones, and I mean that's okay. I tell you, use your scraps, you know, because this is one of the best ones, and I love this cap when you get finished. But what I'm trying to say is your count will probably be different than mine, because the thickness of your yarn is probably going to be different than mine. So I wouldn't go by what I say on the number of rows. That's why I really didn't want to tell you at first, because it's different. Every time I do it, the number of rows is different. I don't know if you can see, I'm pulling on this and that hole is getting smaller, a little bit tighter. Alright, and when you get it as tight as you possibly can, this is what I like to do. I like to go back and just kind of connect the sides and stitch that top together. And that way, you know, there's not a big old gaping hole at the top. You've got that secured. Alright, I'm going to keep working on this and fastening my ends. I'm going to do some trim on the little bits and pieces I was telling you about, and I'll show you what it looks like.
Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's cozy crochet session. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button and ring the bell so you never miss a stitch. Share your beautiful creations with us in the comments below. Keep those hooks moving, and until next time, happy crocheting.